October 245th, 2014, -2.
There was a commotion when you who you are, where you
I'm Ian Foxton. I'm a first-year painter, and I graduated from Covenant College in Georgia. Between 2008 and 2011, I made large observational paintings that lasted for months. I was fascinated by the plethora of information to draw with and harmonizing heightened color passages. I became motivated by a precise way of measuring jumps in space and perspective, and also the raw reality that I was physically making marks on a flat surface. The assumption often popped into my head saying, I feel that the image is just a sort of armature on which I hang my marks and make my art. By thinking of my practice like this, I constantly scratch against the restrictions of intended reference and manifest my doubt by interrupting a system that would be executing an idea. If I keep my marks flat, do they act more like symbols? Yet I am interested in a narrative, the life I've been gifted with and all the ethical implications that come with that. We today have a language to celebrate waywardness, but we do not have a cultural language to bring people home. And so that, just as a footnote for later, like that painting in the far corner over there was something I'd been working on for a year, and all the problems and things that were found in that are kind of, yes, there's something that I've been recently trying to resolve by proving that I can thematically hold something together. I think with that, I'll just start.
Given your statement, would you say this one?
Well, I'd say that I think like working on it consistently, like a couple weeks in terms of finding studies, putting together studies, and actually working with them.
But you said that we have a language for uniformity.
Yes.
Blasphemy, but we don't have a language to bring it together. And you thought that you put marks down into that, the symbols, and that creates somehow a discordance with the narrative.
Yes.
So when I looked at this, I thought, oh, it's not finished.
Right.
But
right.
after listening to your statement, I thought maybe this is finished, and that's you're not wanting to take the narrative all the way home because you don't believe it or you don't trust it.
Yeah, I have a struggle with doubting the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
So this one is based on an event that I was I've been building the narrative in it. Where before I would just set up a canvas and work on the situation, and I felt a continuity between what I was working on in my own life, and this one is trying to mix together other ideas. And so I often want my marks just to feel kind of pretty on the surface as they are, or even if it's drawing something out, but I want the color along to feel like it interacts with the background.
For instance?
For instance, well, most recently, some of the leaves, like the orange, red leaves on.
Well, when you blur out a figure like the one on the far left, the head,
Yes.
is that a way of obliterating the clarity of the narrative, or is it a process where you're developing the narrative?
It's developing the narrative in that I like to draw things out several times, if not in the studies, on the surface itself. I kind of feel like someone recently told me about an article where Gerard Richter made something, and doing this process, he was scraping off the entire thing, and every day he'd come back to it and repaint it until he caught the image at a particular point.
How is that a narrative and not a process?
Well, that is a process, but it's also, in this case, I'm playing with trying to find an edge and focus in on the narrative that's happening. So it's difficult to say, before the painting's done, what that is, but I use it to kind of find, oh yes, it's about this figure, but maybe it's not this feature of this person, but I want, at least in the figure that's most bottom and foreground, kind of wrap, so people can wrap themselves around that figure.
Which one is that?
The one that's facing or looking
That's the protagonist.
at this point, yes, she's actually going and making eye contact with the rest of the viewers. So,
And
one
the
of
narrative is,
well, I think there's something it's kind of just like a very like easy day in some cases, and it's kind of like inviting in just the kind of the relaxedness of it. But I think I'm going to cause problems in it by putting other figures in the background that aren't as at peace.
Tennis, what in? Like, what for?
What for? Well, I was talking with Tina about this, and we were like trying to find a larger narrative for like something that's going on in the back of my head, and I wanted to put these wheels in, and I guess like bring it someplace like maybe like throw some moons up in there, but maybe it's on like a different planet or something like that. But kind of like the things that occupy us in our daily lives will continue on in the future rather than turn into some space age anti-human proposition, I guess.
It looks like you also have soldiers or some kind of fighting.
Well, I wanted, I was more, I Google searched people running up a hill, because I wanted the view from like below and watching people run up something. But the soldiers look good.
Oh, they're not soldiers?
No, they are,
Oh.
but that's just the only image I found of people running up a hill. So I did it more for like the anatomical reference.
So tell the wind thing again, the windmill part of it.
Well, originally,
And the bubble.
or like where, oh, the bubble tents. Well, I thought the bubble tents kind of looked somewhat futuristic. It's like, I don't know if people would actually sleep in those things. But this started at a state park. And I was kind of just more so like, I'm used by the idea of like Parks and Recreation, like the show that takes place in Southern Indiana. I mean, it's kind of like, oh, this is something that people actually do in Indiana. It's like being out of parks. So I was kind of like, first of all, I'm amused by that. And I guess try to give it more of like an edge or something. I guess I was kind of trying to make it like an ideal, like in Indiana thing. But it's frustrating because I don't actually get to do this. I just slave away.
so you're turning it into kind of a real-time narrative as opposed to, because it has all the earmarked pastoral
Oh yeah.
associations of golden eras and things like that. That doesn't interest you?
Well, I like that there's, in the same way that people like Norman Rockwell paintings because they're like, oh, like, you know, it's like this beautiful time. It's just something that resonates with people about, this is something beautiful about this. But, yeah, like I think I'm, what my mind went to was actually to look at like the history of parks. Like that parks were originally like medieval hunting grounds, and now they're, you know, the way we look at nature and prescribe meaning to it based on, you know, whatever social or cultural era we exist in for why nature is meaningful. Where like pastoral, I think is romanticism. I think there's this, you know, vast, you know, outside world, it's a sublime idea. I don't think that's what this is about.
But she means like pastoral, Arcadia thing.
Yeah, that's
French
there.
love grass and.
Yeah, that's there. I don't think it's necessarily the history I'm interacting with or thinking about while doing it.
Because it's one of the first things
I
that
know.
comes to mind when you look at them. I'm wondering, like what the order is, how you think, how they get started. Like, did you start with that sketch? Did you start with little drawings? Did you start with like, what do you do first? How do you,
Well, originally
time frame?
it happened as a Photoshop collage, this part right here. And I really like looking in a square, so I started to expand it. Like the original composition, the crazy styrofoam thing, is what the first small composition looked like that got altered. And so that happened, and then like this color study happened because I was trying to open it up and find a palette.
Oh, so that was a color study.
Yeah, and so I kind of used those colors found in there rather than these were kind of warmer and more, not quite as heightened, I guess. But, and then I started doing these other things to try to understand my figures better. So it doesn't, I like the idea of having like a system, but I find myself interrupting myself in the process and adding on things in an order that wouldn't necessarily make sense. So I just feel like if I draw these things out enough that they'll.
Well, it seems like you like doing all these things, like,
Yeah.
you like a lot.
I like them.
A lot of the lead up to the painting.
Yeah.
I know, especially when I go to your studio, part of the interest in there is kind of all the little projects
Yeah.
going on, kind of,
Yeah.
or getting towards an idea.
And they talk to each other at different points. And so to me, it's kind of like finding that conversation. Like, and what happens like when I cluster them together, what becomes more elegant when you compare and contrast images. So I kind of find it like necessary to group them together before they're done.
So back to that pastoral idea.
Okay.
Because at least this one, not the other paintings, but this one really does have that quality. Is that good or bad? That you're,
Good.
you seem to be saying that you didn't seem to want to include yourself
Well,
in that,
Yeah.
and yet you seem to be resisting it.
Well, I don't find myself like confronting it head on. Like, I think it's like part of it, but it's more so like I think it's like
the Arcadia thing?
Yeah, or that at least you're kind of doing that kind of a painting.
Okay. Do you know what the Arcadia
Like-
movement was?
Greek people going through
Okay.
forested areas and things like that.
Well, the colors are getting to this, as opposed to say even the printout, that you're heightening and sugaring up the day
Oh yeah.
and kind of removing, or, well, I'm not sure exactly where it's going, but the party animal quality, because that's what I've seen this before here, with the beer and the coolers and things that it's a pastoral with a hint of alcoholism. And that, but for,
The original one had it too, though.
right, kind of.
Verging on the box.
But you're sweetening it up with your color. I mean, that's how it seems to me. It's heightened, but it's also toward pleasant and,
Is it too pleasant?
for my taste, well, yeah, actually, but I don't know what you're after in terms of how the color could carry your notions, because I look at the, over here, the other ones up on the main wall are in a whole other vein, so I'm
Yeah.
guessing that color for you carries a weight, and, it's your business what.
Well, it becomes just about like the pleasure of putting the mark down, letting one color sit on another one. I just get like pleasure from that. So like I have to like excavate the content more as I go into it because I just realize it's just a big inner like glee of all the actions happening.
You know, you were talking about your Victor before, the wiping out and that kind of thing. You know, a lot of those paintings, so the figurative paintings, like 2 or 3 versions of them exist. And he'll do it and then he'll stop, and he'll do it and he'll stop, and that kind of thing. Is that, should, 3 or 4 of these things exist where you get to stop at different points?
I think I like, well, this is the first time that I actually have this many like studies going along with it. I had this Andre book of his drawings and was looking at one of them. He said he had done 400 studies for this one painting. And I was like, wow, I found like the studies way more interesting than I found the final painting.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah, and so I'm trying to I think if some of these studies were taken further, I think they could end up as completely different scenes or scenarios from than the big painting. I don't think I want, because I think I would think of them too much as the same thing if they were all the same
Problem
size.
is, you don't know how big the painting was at this point. The collage, I find much more interesting on every level. I mean, if I look at the wall's art, the collage is much more intriguing, even as a parody to the Seurat. You know, I mean, and it's far more abstract. I mean, all the figures are moving, and and because they're photographs, I say, there's a kind of detail that's intriguing inside the making of all the edges are sharper. Come to your painting, and you just revert to kind of a more traditional attitude toward painting, and I think you get trapped in that. And we said always study. I said, oh, who cares after a while? I mean, if you're not approaching the painting like you're trying to discover something, then you're just repeating a painting parameter or something like that over and over and over again. I sort of sense that. I feel like you make